It's 11:01. Here we are. Start right away, taking deep breaths. Welcome to Creative Companions, where we're all believing mirrors for one another. Whew. It's been a time. Let me know you're here. We're going to be doing chapter 2 of The Artist's Way. If you're joining us, this is a book by Julia Cameron that I myself have utilized for years in an effort to free my creative spirit and live a creative life and silence the censor, the negative voices that show up. And I am 58 now, I guess, and realizing that they come back up again and again, even when you work on it, even when you know. To just take deep breaths and focus on the now. So now we are on chapter 2 of The Artist's Way, recovering a sense of identity. We'll need your markers, which I didn't get mine, all the colors. So take your time getting ready. Try to keep this video and this gathering to create under an hour time frame. Pop in and out if you like. I always say, just bring all the colors of markers, whatever you have. If you don't have markers, you can bring colored pencils. And we're going to be talking about recovering a sense of identity today. And that's chapter 2 of The Artist's Way. We always begin all our gatherings by gathering our things. I said markers. I didn't say a blank sheet of paper and scissors if you have them. And start right away by taking some deep breaths with me. In through your nose and hold that a second. And breathe out, just landing here. Notice the quiet. Another deep breath in and hold it. And breathe out. Let's do that again. I would encourage us all to keep breathing at that rate for the entirety of this gathering as we create. Everything is meditation in the now. So breathing in and out, we're dropping into the now, into this present moment, into our bodies. So if you've joined us before for Artist's Way groups or Creative Companions groups, you know we always start with meditation. Keep breathing, and remember, during meditation, the noises that we hear close to us and those far away don't serve as distractions, only as cues to relax more. We're only meditating to just follow our breath and come more fully to the present moment. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and do that now. Check in with your body. We're also meditating and breathing to come into our own presence in our own body. So check in with your body. It's a good place to be. We're just relaxing here now. Keep breathing and notice the quiet. I'll be quiet. Let's do 3 like that together. This is 2. And 3. I haven't placed my hand on my heart. You might do the same and notice the beating of your heart. As we breathe deeply, We can slow our heart rate, come calmly into the now. Let's do 3 more deep breaths together. I need it. I know I do. Here we go. 1. Blow it out, man. 2. May we all make it our intention to continue to focus on the breath throughout this gathering as we keep our hands moving, as Julia Cameron teaches us to do in the Artist Way. She has us writing morning pages, which is 3 pages of brain drain in your journal. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but for now, let's get your blank sheet of paper and draw the biggest star you can fit on there. I've already done this part, and I drew my shape really as a zany star, I think, with that one long point there, but I had a long skinny piece of paper. So just draw the biggest star you can draw and cut it out. You don't even have to cut it out right now. You could cut it out later. You could do the art and then cut it out later. Pick your favorite color, or any color. I'm going to do something bold here. And we're talking this week. Oh, we're still meditating too. So take your time. Don't rush your artist self. Go ahead and make that star. We're all shooting stars, just passing through. So, cut yourself out a star or make yourself a big star. And in the middle of that star, we're going to write I, and figure out which is the top, what's the bottom, which way does it go. I'm going to do mine like that. Okay, in the center of it, write I, comma, I'll show you mine. And then your name, or what you want to be called. I'm going to write Kimmy Sue. So maybe write your child self name. What'd they call you when you were a kid? Because we're connecting with our child self through these practices. So maybe, what did I say? I, Kimmy Sue, comma. So I, your child self name, and keep breathing. And so here's mine. I, Kimmy Sue. And then write am. Dot, dot, dot. I, Kimmy Sue, am, dot, dot, dot. Now, I thought about this before and picked the first 2 words that came to me. And they are brilliant and bold. And I realized those are both B words, so maybe you go through the letters of the alphabet and pick out words that describe you. And we're looking for words that describe maybe your good child self qualities. We're not looking for nouns. We're not looking for I, Kimmy Sue, am mom. I, Kimmy Sue, am granny. I, Kimmy Sue, am, yeah. So we're looking for zany, brilliant, bold. And as I talk and you breathe, I don't like the marker I chose, I just am asking that you fill in your stars with descriptive words of your higher self. And you can write them however you like, and you can take your time and you can write real slow, and you can make the words swirly and fancy. You can use all the colors. I encourage you to use all the colors. If you run out of words to write, you can just scribble on there. Just keep your hand moving. In the comments, if you would love, I would love it if you would share some words you're finding that are coming to you right away. Take some deep breaths. So we're making what do we want to call these? Identity stars. Recovering a sense of identity. Who am I? And we're trusting our creative spirit. I'm going to read you some things out of the book while you continue to write and create on your stars. I should keep a marker. I will keep a marker in my hand, so as I think of things to write on my star, I will write them too. So far, Kimmy Sue, am brilliant and bold. Oh, creative comes up next, which is a C word. I love me. I, Kimmy Sue, am creative. Cheerful. So maybe it looks like I'm going to do 2 words from each letter of the alphabet. So far, that's what I've done. So going sane feels just like going crazy, says Julia Cameron. Everything just feels different, you know? If you've been blocked and you start to unblock, my behavior now is so different than it was before. So she says going sane feels just like going crazy. So actually, let me back up a minute. I wanted to read the basic principles. I can find them. I don't know about you, but things get pretty hectic and overwhelming in this life. And just showing up here, man, I was so consistent for a while before, but now, you know, things are always different. It's always just today. So I wanted to go back to the basic principles on page 3 of The Artist's Way and read those to you as a gentle reminder, as a great meditation. So just continue to breathe with me while I read these basic principles of, of The Artist's Way, living a creative life, letting your light shine. So number 1, creativity is the natural order of life. Creativity is you're practicing the art of listening now. And in your listening, you may have words occur to you to write on your star and just jot them down. Or if you just want to listen, that's fine too. So breathing and listening. Number 1, creativity is the natural order of life. Life is energy, pure creative energy. Number 2, there is an underlying, indwelling creative force infusing all of life, including ourselves. Number 3, when we open ourselves to our creativity, we open ourselves to the Creator's creativity within us and our lives. You know, we're just trying to wrap our heads around these principles. How do they feel to you? Number 4, we are ourselves creations. And we, in turn, are meant to continue creativity by being creative ourselves. Number 5, creativity is our nature, God's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift back. Number 6, this one gets you when you're in a slump, or at least me. Number 6, the refusal to be creative is self-will and is counter to our true nature. So the refusal to be creative is self-will and counter to our true nature. It feels like crap, too, when we refuse to do the things that we know we want to do, that creative thing. Number 7, when we open ourselves to exploring our creativity, we open ourselves to God, good, orderly direction. G-O-D. Number 8, as we open our creative channel to the Creator, many gentle but powerful changes are to be expected. Are you still breathing? I hope so, because if you're not, you might pass out. Deep breaths now. Number 9, it is safe to open ourselves up to greater and greater creativity. It is safe to open ourselves up to greater and greater creativity. Number 10, our creative dreams and yearnings come, from a divine source. And as we move toward our dreams, we move towards our divinity. Could you understand me there? I said that weird at the end. I'll read that again. Our creative dreams and yearnings come from a divine source. As we move towards our dreams, we move toward our divinity. So those are the basic principles. I like to write them down at least once during this 12-week Artist Way course. And when you write them in your journal, you're also reading them, saying them to yourself in your own voice, and writing them, and it's all the senses involved. So when you can involve all the senses in facilitating the shifts and changes that you're trying to make, it's so very helpful. So this week we address self-definition as a major component of your creative recovery. It's recovering a sense of identity. You may find yourself drawing new boundaries and staking out new territories as your personal needs, desires, interests announce themselves. The essay tools are aimed at moving you into personal identity. All right, so I'm going to read you a quote now from Doris Lessing. It says, "All sanity depends on this, that it should be a delight to feel heat strike the skin, a delight to stand upright, knowing the bones are moving easily under the flesh." That's beautiful. So, just as a recovering alcoholic must avoid the first drink, the recovering artist must avoid the first think. Self-doubt and self-sabotage are, So these attacks come from either internal or external sources. We can neutralize them once we recognize them as a sort of virus. Affirmations are a powerful antidote for self-hate, which commonly appears under the mask of self-doubt. Early in our creative recovery, self-doubt can lure us into self-sabotage. Don't let your self-doubt turn into self-sabotage. So, as a check-in, if you've been working with the Artist Way, I wonder if you're doing the morning pages. So, at this point, we're on week 2. We had 2 weeks to have the intention of daily writing 3 pages in our journal. So, I know when I first started using the Artist Way, I didn't do that every day. And I often didn't write 3 pages. And I didn't know what to write about anyway. And I'm not a writer, and I didn't know what in the world the use of this was. But I found if I kept showing up at the page every day, I started having really good conversations with myself there in my journal. And now I say it is essential to my continued awareness and self-healing to show up at the page every day and to write those 3 pages. And it's different every day. There are no rules to it. So how does self-sabotage show up in that process of the morning pages? Well, you might have set an intention to do it, and then you start telling yourself you're too stupid, or you're not a writer, or your handwriting sucks, or whatever it is, But our morning pages are just to be conversations between you and you. And you can write however you want to write, and you can say whatever you want to say, and you can write as sloppy as you want to write, or you can slow down and write as beautiful as you want to write, or you can write really big letters and also one of the things about those morning pages and the magic of them is that how often can you just say whatever you want to say? Poopy, caca, papa. People get, So in your morning pages, you can say whatever you want to say. And I say give voice to that angry one. Give voice to the sad one. Know thyself. That is what the journal does for us. This is all just a big conversation with yourself. I'm just talking to myself. We talk to ourselves more than we talk to others. And if we have been talked to in ways that are degrading, abusive, demoralizing, most times, we're using that same voice on ourselves as adults, internally. Well, then you got a scared little kid still there. So, Aubrey shared a cute little thing on Creative Companions this week, a cute little blue thing saying really nice things, and we talked about how nice it was to be talked to like that, So creativity flourish, I'm reading again. Creativity flourishes when we have a sense of safety and self-acceptance. Your artist, like a small child, is happiest when feeling a sense of security. As our artist's protective parent, we must learn to place our artist with safe companions. Toxic playmates can capsize our artistic growth. See, it's hard stuff in this artist way. That the truth is that it was self-will to refuse to acknowledge our creativity. So perhaps I'm just going to read the things I have underlined. This, what good can think and do, and I don't want to think, so take some deep breaths with me. Robert Lewis here says, to know what you prefer instead of humbly saying amen to what the world tells you you ought to prefer is to have kept your soul alive. And Shakti Gawan, I know I'm probably not saying that properly, but Shakti says, every time you don't follow your inner guidance, you feel a loss of energy, a loss of power, a sense of spiritual deadness. And simplifying that is know that you know. Your gut knows. I'm going to switch colors here and write something else. I, Kimmy Sue, I had daring, darling. There's my two D words. I'm going to switch colors again. That's often what I do on those marker meditations that I share daily, because I do a marker meditation after my morning pages. So I write the 3 pages of brain drain. A lot of times they turn into poems, I've been doing them since my son was born. It was his birthday yesterday. Same day as Ren's birthday. So happy birthday, Ren. Happy birthday, Sam. March 29th was the date yesterday. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I do the marker meditations after that. And the goal really on those marker meditations is just keep my hand moving, keep breathing, make it a meditation. And when my consciousness gets in there, or I get stuck and don't know what else to do to keep the hand moving on the page, I switch colors and I go to the next color of the rainbow. So that involves a little bit of thinking, which stops any other thought train I was trying to have. Yeah, because we're just trying to go free flow and have new thoughts and not replay the same things every day that we say to ourselves. If I'm making any sense, that's great. Blocked friends may find your recovery disturbing. Be alert to subtle sabotage from your friends. You can't afford their well-meaning doubts right now. Their doubts will reactivate your own. Be particularly alert to any suggestion that you become selfish or different. They are attempts to leverage us back into our old ways for the sake of someone else's comfort. I'm reading from the book, just things I've underlined. As block creatives, we must focus not on our responsibilities to ourselves. Oh, I'm reading that all wrong. As block creatives, we must focus not on our responsibility. I can't read that right. That sentence must not be supposed to be read. For right now, protect your artist by refusing to show those morning pages to interested bystanders or to share your artist date with friends. I haven't mentioned the artist date yet, but I will here in a second. Draw a sacred circle around your recovery. Give yourself the gift of faith. Trust you're on the right track. You are. You'll learn to enjoy the process of being a creative channel and to surrender your need to control the result. You'll discover the joy of practicing your creativity. The process, not the product, will become your focus. When you're in the process, owning your breath, Your own healing is the greatest message of hope for others. You are. You are. Go back to your star. I, Kimmy Sue, am everything. I'm on the letter E. Essential. Nobody shared any words in the comments. I'd love to hear what words you're writing down. I'm going to switch colors, and now I'm on the F letter. My F broke off my computer. If you've been with me, you know I dropped my laptop and broke the button on my laptop. Chinchilla has a song, Only Speak in Caps Lock. So now I've mentioned both Ren and Chinchilla, and if you don't know who they are, go check them out. Oh, learn to get in touch with the silence within yourself and know that everything in this life has a purpose. Crazy makers like drama. I am worthy. Hi, Sam. The next part here talks about crazy makers. Those personalities that come in and create a big storm center and shake things up. And I don't really like talking about that part a lot. It's talking about, having discernment of who you let in your swirl. What I'm at, okay, here's another good quote that I have highlighted. It's on page 47 if you want to know. Shakti Guan again. What I'm actually saying is that we need to be willing to let our intuition guide us. And then be willing to follow that guidance directly and fearlessly. Without hesitation, I say. Without hesitation. Fiery, brave, driven, extravagant, witty. Thanks, Magic. Those are great. What letter was I on? F. I like fiery. And I have orange in my hand, so that's perfect. How do you spell fiery? Fantastic. 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 Futuristic. Pop. Take some deep breaths. So in this part of it, Julia's asking you to identify the crazy makers in your life and where your energy's going. Eddie Cantor says, slow down and enjoy life. It's not only the scenery you miss by going too fast. You will also miss the sense of where you are going and why. That's another thing the morning pages help us get to our why. Who am I and why? Oh, artist date. So an artist date, Julia's recommending that we do one a week. And that is an hour by ourselves doing something fun that our artist self, child self would really like to do. So this is always, and I've done this artist way thing. You see the condition of my book here. This is like falling apart. I've done this since, I would have to look, but I don't know. My son was about 5 years old. So 20 some years, I've probably gone through this book many times, not making it to the end, and then many times made it to the end. And the artist date is the hardest part for me. To take that hour all by myself just to do something I like to do. I got that caretaker thing going on, I think people need me, and whatever. That's up to me what my hang-ups are about it. But what I'm here to say is I've done it a couple times. We haven't met for about 2 weeks, and I did 2 artist dates. I took myself camping, and I took myself out to breakfast one day, which is a really big deal, because we'll talk later in the Artist Way here about recovering a sense of luxury in your life, and to go out to breakfast and sit down and have breakfast served to me was a big dang deal in my world, and I enjoyed it very much. And I even bought myself a little, and I have them right here. They're so cute. I have to show you. So I'd love to hear artist dates that you took, because it's easy to run out of ideas what to do with yourself. So flying a kite is one, taking a bath, going to the thrift store and just allowing yourself to shop slowly and pick out something you really like. And I did that, and these were 99 cents. Look how cute they are. Isn't this adorable? They're salt and pepper shakers, and I love them. Yeah. So there's that. Let's see. Take some deep breaths. You know, and as we're identifying the crazy makers in our life, what we also need to recognize is we are one too, you know, and taking a good, hard, long look at ourselves is what we're doing here, ain't it? You know, I said the other day, uh-oh, my invisibility cloak fell off. I'm not invisible anymore. So, I believe in you, and um, I knew they are so cute. So's that puppy. Yay. Um, so, you know, in your relationships, one thing I and my friends like to say to each other, are you and your partner dancing with each other or around each other these days? Do your pretzels have salt or not? You know, it takes two. So just really, so the next time you think it's them, is what they're doing that's driving you crazy, ask yourself what creative work you are trying to block by focusing on that. My, for me, it's painting, and my stuff to paint is right over on the other side of the computer here. I can get up and do that anytime. Avoid the noid is another thing I like to say to myself. I don't like to be in a state of being annoyed, and I have been a lot lately. I have been highly sensitive and easily activated, I guess. Doing things like this help me. So let's see what else Julia has to say. Skepticism. Perhaps the greatest barrier for any of us as we look for an expanded life is our deeply held skepticism, the secret doubt. Like I said, you know that you know, and you go, oh yeah, I know who I am. I'm afraid they'll know. What is that called? Imposter syndrome now? Hmm. So here's another quote. To believe in God or in any guiding force because someone tells you to is the height of stupidity. We are given senses to receive our information with. With our own eyes we see, and with our skin we feel. With our intelligence, it is intended that we understand. But each person must puzzle it out for him or herself. So if we're spending our time being distracted by crazy makers and video games and addictions, we don't have time to puzzle it out with ourselves. And there's so much joy and great things to come when we puzzle it out with ourselves. And she talks about how we think it's weird to imagine an unseen helping hand that we still doubt that it's okay for us to be creative. That was a hard sentence for me to read. And I find like some of the ones that I underlined years ago. Here's one, a good one. Any little bit of experimenting and self nurturance is very frightening for most of us. We feel too much like frauds to handle some success. Hmm. Setting skepticism aside even briefly can make for very interesting explorations. In creative recovery, it is not necessary that we change any of our beliefs. It's just necessary that we look at them and examine them, that we have an open mind. So we're beginning to consciously open our mind. The intention, having that intention. Take some deep breaths. Just relax. Check in with your body again. Does it feel more relaxed? What about your heart rate? I know mine has slowed down immensely, and my body has relaxed a lot since we've been here. We just have a little more to go on this chapter. 34 minutes in. We're writing on our stars. I, Kimmy Sue, am, and writing down words that feel empowering and that define our higher self or our child self. I just saw cute. I'm doing them letter by letter here. So I'm on G. What's it going to be? I am good. I am so good. Good is looking for me to be good with. You hear that? There's an affirmation to write down. I am so good. Good is looking for me to be good with. All right. I am good. I am great. That's for you, April, if you're listening. April just likes to say that all day long. Great, 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 great. Sometimes, those are really good affirmations when your negative self-talk is going, when maybe you got some racing thoughts, to just replace it with the simplest of words. It just puts something there instead of, that thing that you were saying that wasn't serving you well. And great, 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 great. Smile on me, sunshine. Do you have a theme song? Walk with me, world. It's a zippity-doo-da day. I'm the happiest girl in the whole USA. I've had that for a long time. Henry Miller says this. Pay attention. This next segment we're on is on attention. So attention on your breath for a second. Here's a quote by Henry Miller. Develop interest in life as you see it. In people, things, literature, music. The world is so rich. Simply throbbing with rich treasures, beautiful souls, and interesting people. Forget yourself. Very often a creative block manifests itself as an addiction to fantasy. Rather than working or living the now, we spin our wheels and indulge in daydreams of could have, would have, should have. One of the great misconceptions about the artistic life is that it entails great swaths of aimlessness. The truth is that a creative life involves great swaths of attention. Attention is a way to connect and survive. Survival lies in sanity, and sanity lies in paying attention. Success or failure, the truth of a life, really has little to do with its quality. The quality of life is in proportion always to the capacity of delight, for delight. The quality of life is in proportion always to the capacity for delight. The capacity for delight is the gift of paying attention. The reward for attention is always healing. It may begin as the healing of a particular pain, the lost lover, the sickly child, the shattered dream. But what is healed finally is the pain that underlies all pain. The pain that we are all, as Rilke phrases it, unutterably alone. More than anything else, attention is an act of connection. And what we're doing right here is an act of connection. Showing up for yourself, to do the artist way, recovery group, whatever the heck that means. I don't even know how to define it to you. It's an act of attention and connection that we are doing it together. We are paying attention to ourselves and our needs and taking care of ourselves better and better. And then we're connecting with others in a new way. Man, this is magical what we got going on, Writing about attention, I see that I have written a good deal about pain. This is no coincidence. It may be different for others, but pain is what it took to teach me to pay attention. And I'm reading right now from the book. In times of pain, when the future is too terrifying to contemplate and the past too painful to remember, I have learned to pay attention to right now. And I would say the pain of replaying the past, which they call that PTSD, and you have these tapes that are replaying traumatic, and the pain of that for me, and when I am lost in those painful thoughts, then I'm not present in the now, and that makes me more vulnerable, and I want to be safe. So that shifted a change for me. Um, that sentence again. In times of pain, when the future is too terrifying to contemplate, God bless America, and the past too painful to remember, I've learned to pay attention to right now. And a good question to ask yourself is always, am I okay right now? Is everything okay right now? Do I have everything I need right now? Maybe you need a drink of water or you drink a coffee. My coffee's getting cold. I stopped moving my hand on my page and writing on my star. There's a star on the bottom of my cup. Hi, Wolf. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, the time change or the time different in, depending on where we are in the country. So we're making stars, identity stars. I, Kimmy Sue, am, and we're writing descriptive words and filling up this star. I like to make these cutout kind of things, and I hang them around my room. So I have a lot of these. I've been putting my things away, getting ready to move. Um, so the reading again from the book, back to this idea of paying attention and being in the now. The precise moment I was in was always the only safe place for me. Each moment taken alone was always bearable. In the exact now, we are all always all right. And there's nothing to say. When we just get quiet and be in the now, we are all always all right. And everything is also good. And there is so much good coming our way. The painting has a life of its own. I try to let it come through, says Jackson Pollock. So, and it is that way. I did not, let me just move my camera a minute. I did not plan this painting. I showed up at the canvas every day and I let it come through me, and there it is. And ain't that something? How do I get out of the way? That's what we're talking about, getting out of our own way so that we can continue to create, and empowering ourselves. So I'm going to read you now the rules of the road. And keep on writing on those stars there. You're all beautiful works in progress. I believe in you. Thanks for believing in me and showing up here, you guys. Rules of the road. In order to be an artist, I must show up at the page and use the page to rest, to dream, and to try. Number 2. In order to be an artist, I must fill the well by caring for my artist. Once upon a time, I heard myself say, I don't care about my art anymore. Yikes. But it changes. We're in flow. So filling the well by caring for my artist. In order to be an artist, I must, and you can take out the word artist if it makes you uncomfortable still to call yourself such, but I believe we all are creatives. But you could put in human. In order to be a good human, I must fill the well by caring for my human. In order to be an artist, I must set small and gentle goals and meet them. Again, in order to be a human, I must set small and gentle goals and meet them. Number 4, I must ask for guidance, courage, and humility. Number 5, I must remember that it is harder and more painful to be blocked than it is to do the work. Yeah. In order to be an artist, I must be alert always for the presence of the great creator leading and helping my artist. You can call those synchronicities, Boo Radley moments. I must be alert always for the presence of synchronicities leading and helping my artist. It's really fun to watch those things, Like, oh, that was just for me. Oh, I heard that, In order to be an artist, I must choose companions who encourage me to do the work, not just talk about doing the work or why I am not doing the work. I have really good friends who, if I talk about a topic more than once or twice, they'll give me twice. They then say, well, I heard you. So what are you going to make of that? That's a good question. What are you going to make of this day? What are you going to make today? That's what Rivers says to me a lot. What are we going to make today, Granny? And we make something. So choose companions who encourage you to do the work, not just talk to you about doing the work or why they're not doing the work. In order to be an artist, you must remember that your higher self loves creativity. In order to be an artist, you must remember that it is my job to do the work, not judge the work. It is my job to do the art, not judge the art. Yeah. In order to be an artist, I must place this sign in my workplace. A sign, you can make a sign that says this: Great Creator, I'll take care of the quantity. You take care of the quality. So we're just really learning to honor that artist within, man. So at the end of the chapter, she has a bunch of tasks. They're really good. I look back on them and see like different years. There was a part I wanted to share. So there was one where it had you make a list of what, 10, 11, I did 11 things that you would like to do. I would like to. So I have 11 things on this list, and I probably made this list 2 years ago, and I did 4 of them. One of them I tried doing and didn't work out. Other one's in progress. So that makes 6. I think that's pretty good. And the other ones I do still want to do. So this is real personal, just here's an older one I feel more comfortable sharing for some reason, an older one, and this is from 2010. I would like to take care of myself financially. I would like to be more social. I would like to say what I think more. I would like to get my head shaved. I did do that. I would like to travel in a motorhome. I did it. I would like to publish my book. Haven't got to that yet. I would like to ride my bike more. Did it. I would like to go hang gliding. I don't want to do that anymore. I would like to start getting more exercise. Did it. I would like to have my own room. I would still like to have my own room. This was 2010. This is 2025. I would like to have my own room. So yeah, the tasks at the end of the book, I say, how many tasks did she give us this time? 10 of them to choose from. That sounds like a lot of stuff to do. Read the chapter, do the morning pages, take an artist date, and now do 10 tasks at the end of the book. You don't have to do all 10 of them. You don't have to do anything. Do whatever you want. But I say one way to do it is read all 10 of them. And if there's one that you go, oh, that sounds like really challenging, that's probably because you really could use that medicine, their lessons or whatever there. So maybe do that one. Or maybe you do the one that sounds easiest to you first. Writing them in your journal is a good space, a good place to do that. You might do them in the morning as part of your morning pages. It's just like doing yoga. It's a thing we're doing as a group, but everybody's experience is completely different. And I enjoy hearing all you all's progress. I need this medicine of the artist's way again, and doing these live feeds and this interaction and connection with people that are working on the same path and working towards the same things. It's really good for me. And I had gotten into quite a slump, and so I'm happy to be doing all the things. Saw my counselor, and I'll see him again tomorrow. He says he sees great progress. So anyway, next week we'll be talking about recovering a sense of power. There's a good song by Ren called Power. I'm really into Ren lately, huh? His birthday was yesterday, I said that. I, Kimmy Sue, am A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I was going to say hungry. No, I'm not. Happy. Yes, I, Kimmy Sue, am happy. Hi. I should write that in green. How high are ya? Hi, how are ya? Oh my goodness. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoy finishing up your star. fill it in, make it beautiful, write all these wonderful words. And these are great reminders and things. This is something I encourage you then when you're done with your star, take a picture of it and share it with us so that we can all see. You could put it in the comments under this video. That would be a good spot. I'll try to share mine too. Last week or chapter one's live feed got really chaotic. I don't know if you watched it yet, but if you haven't watched it, it is available on YouTube. Art by Kim Keffer on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Also, I offer this content to the collective for free. And this is me, my healing out loud process. And I'm really happy to have you all joining with me. I have several members that are donating $11 a week when they attend these groups. And you can send that to my PayPal or Cash App. And I'll put those in the comments. And if you want to pay for all 12 weeks, I don't know. We were saying $111, but we've already done 2 weeks, so I don't know how any of it works. But anyway, if you'd like to donate to keep me doing what I'm doing and keep me in art supplies and all that, that would be great. I'm going to continue filling in my star. Next week, we're going to be recovering a sense of power. That's chapter 3. Let me see, how long is chapter 3? The chapters aren't very long. You know, if you read a few pages each day, you can make it through the chapter by next week, methinks. And I encourage you to continue to write in your journals. I have my journal here. Let's see. So this is the journal I have right now that I'm using. Yeah. So morning pages, 3 pages of brain drain. Take an artist date by yourself. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for showing up. Keep showing up for yourself. You're a fine thing. You can do amazing things. You just got to show up and do it. So remember who you are. Remember you're a shooting star. Yeah. Also, on that YouTube channel, when we did this chapter years ago, there's playlists on there on the YouTube channel, Artist Way playlist, and Moon and Magic. I think Magic did a song very synchronistically about stars at the end of the episode, and I also think we showed Pam's wood art. And rest in peace, Pam. What a beautiful soul, beautiful artist. I'm really glad that we took the opportunity to share her art there years ago. So yeah, check out the YouTube channel if you want. I love you so much. Love yourself more and more and more and more. That which I do, which is good for me, is good for you. Peace out. 53 minutes. Yay.